Archangel Ariel. The Lion's Gate. Mother Gaia as an expression of the universe, the grand design of Mother Nature, Mother Gaia and Mother Earth, and the universe she calls her home, is, in these days, at its most magnificent peak. Mother Gaia constantly renews and reveals herself through nature, fire, the creator and creation, leaving behind a long history of beauty and the natural history of heaven and earth. She explicitly wants us to know that she shares her beauty in every moment of the day through her creations, such as mushrooms and their gills, where we can glimpse her motifs, her designs, and her mysterious forms in the myriad shapes that fungi take. Her patterns and symmetry are revealed repeatedly through her countless and abundant earthly creations. This includes her largest fungal formation in eastern Oregon. The largest living organism on planet Earth, nicknamed the giant mushroom, spans a staggering 2,384 acres. That's 965 hectares, or 4 square miles. She remains content and undisturbed in all her wisdom. Let us now reflect on the soil, because it is fundamental to all living beings. Known as black gold, organic, fertile, a source of energy for all life that sprouts. Farmers know the soil very well, better than any ordinary mortal. They tend to it, nurture it, and feed it with compost tea, and various manure blends. Farmers know what we overlook. Healthy, fertile soil produces healthy, high-quality organic food, which naturally prevents disease, including human ones like cancer, if it is respected, understood, and never treated with pathogenic toxic substances like chemicals. Eat organic fruits and vegetables. Period. When organic, our foods display incomprehensible designs, as we can observe in the center of an apple, a tomato, a kiwi, a lemon, a watermelon, and a banana, where beauty is intrinsically present for our consumption and pleasure, each coordinated to specific parts of the human body. Mother Earth has nourished her animal and human kingdoms since the beginning of time, and, if properly cared for, will likely continue to do so for the foreseeable future. The majestic forests also carry her design. The mighty oaks, the proud maples, the humble conifers, all expressions of purpose in nature, her beauty, her growth patterns offering protection, nourishment, shelter, and so much more, as we know. Let us consider our living waters, rain, and waterways as some of Mother Gaia's most powerful expressions of life on Earth. The oceans gift us their liquid, voluptuous love, which we enjoy daily through drinking water and the frequent, abundant rains that feed rainforests, oceans, rivers, lakes, streams, wetlands, ponds, and puddles. It is a force to be reckoned with even in its quiet moments, and when it fully expresses its potential, it can tear through the very structure of any mountain range, if it so wishes. The Earth. Let us consider the Earth. 1/4 of the landmass, it shines in its magnificent beauty and glory. It is the home of both the animal kingdom and humanity. Once you understand its perspective, it maintains that it considers animals cooperative, not competitive, as some would have us believe. Humanity could probably learn far more from animals than it has ever imagined, if only it dared to look at life through the lens of cooperation, not competition. And now we must consider the universe. But by what criteria? Must we consider its vast expanse, the constellations, the universal sky? And, ultimately, what can we say of the Milky Way? Is it not, simply put, the milk of the universe and the heavens, the milk from Mother Gaia's breast, to be shared with us and to nourish us and our souls, our bodies, and our spirits, and our hearts with love? Is life not simply a magnificent butterfly that, during metamorphosis, bursts from its chrysalis toward freedom? As the lioness of God in the month of August, when we share the unity experience of the portal known as the Lion's Gate, I must confess that even I, Archangel Ariel, am more than a little impressed by the sheer power of our Mother Gaia, her elegance, and her extraordinary beauty, all contained within her generous celestial body. August 8th, 8/8, is a time of infinite power, grace, and manifestation. A time when the celestial veil is thinner and considered the galactic New Year. Sirius, the brightest star in the sky, becomes visible right now, at the moment when Mother Gaia is most sacred and powerful. She seeks us out on the equator, where love is impetuous, to dance an eternal dance with us. This is a time of great achievements, of unprecedented manifestations, a time when power becomes power incarnate in the hands of all Earth's inhabitants. A time when the possibilities of abundance become fullness. A time when greater clarity frees us from old patterns. A time to set powerful intentions. A time for divine and higher intuition, personal power, elevated consciousness, courage, true self-growth, personal sovereignty, conscious creation, and co-creation. It is time to ignite your vision, to conceive new perspectives for your path. A time of turning points, revelations of your spiritual purpose, profound insights, greater serenity, grace, abundance, and a higher purpose. It is also a period of great transitions and initiations, of new chapters and preparation for the total solar eclipse of August 12th. Mother Gaia is the expression of perfection itself. Think about it, and have a little faith. Mother Gaia has no equal. She is, quite simply, matchless. Poets and writers need her, and she needs them. Despite all obstacles, real or perceived. Farewell, and with immense love, Archangel Ariel. A special dedication to my Archangel Michael for his constant support and patience with me. Full moon in Aquarius, July 29th, 2026. A new cosmic order, dearest ones. The codes of the new Earth are continuously descending upon our planet, for the Earth now possesses a harmonious frequency and has ascended into a new dimensional harmonic band. As stabilizers, harmonizers, and planetary operators, whatever role you hold, you know that the template for the new Earth is being seeded. New locations are now being connected to 5th and 7th dimensional spaces, as new Arcturian crystals are being implanted, and you uphold the frequency through your unique blueprint and intentional desire. The end of July marks a major planetary shift in our skies and collective consciousness. The basket geometry, the nodes shift from Pisces to Aquarius and Leo, together with the full moon in Aquarius, mark the end of the Piscean age, the one that Neptune and Saturn had already prophesied, and which we are now finally concluding. An end cannot be an end without a beginning, and it is precisely toward this beginning that we are heading. The Sun in Leo, along with Jupiter, and now the South Node, supports the change we are igniting from within, helping us anchor quickly into the new, for the time of self-sacrifice is finally over, as Juno in Aquarius reminds us in alignment with the moon. We are now invited to step into the new, as sovereigns, enjoying our creations and the new harmonic space. This is the beginning of restoring divine order on our planet. Many of us came here knowing we would have to dismantle the new world order that is being established. It is not an easy task, but we have been given all the inner resources to stand firm in the power of our hearts, in the power of love, to dissolve all anomalies and planetary tactics that trap consciousness. The Aquarius moon occurs with the Sun conjunct Jupiter and the Moon conjunct Pluto, in harmony with Neptune and Uranus, inviting the collective to remove lower mental programs, opening the mind to what truly is and shifting from the self to the all. As this Aquarius moon reminds us, together with the Sun in Leo, we are here to heal individually, so we can work as a team and assist the collective in the leap of consciousness it is making. All these planetary events support the healing and astral opening that are occurring right now, where the soul trap of continuous reincarnation is about to end for souls aware of their divine nature and freedom. The desperate intentions to continue feeding on us will persist, as will the power we are embodying to neutralize all these intentions. This is the beginning of the collective assumption of our roles as divine emissaries and anchors of the new Earth, because it is not about what we are told or see, but about what is truly behind the physical curtains. Many of you are still self-sabotaging, afraid of your own power, driven by empathy and commitment to others. All of this ends now. You are, as the guides reiterate, the most important person in your life. To help others, you must first help yourself and become the integrated, unified, and powerful love light being that you are. Recognize your worth, your divinity, and your dignity, for nothing that Source creates can ever be unworthy. Stand firm in your wisdom and power, for the time has come to emerge as the divine harmonic anchor and emissary you came to be. Ask your unified self, the divine, for help, and if you ask, it will be given. We cannot accomplish our mission alone. We could not. We are moved by a divine and powerful source within us that allows us to receive infinite energy to accomplish all we must do in our unique role. If you have ever thought that the energy you receive is yours or human, you are mistaken. It is spiritual strength, divine power that assists you in your task at every step of the way. May Source, dearest ones, always recognize the source that walks with you, with love and grace. Our path of seeding begins now. Let us rejoice in the magnificence of this new harmonic cycle. Within infinite love, Natalia, Alba. Full moon in Aquarius, July 29th, 2026. A new cosmic order, dearest ones. The codes of the new Earth are continuously descending upon our planet, for the Earth now possesses a harmonious frequency and has ascended into a new dimensional harmonic band. As stabilizers, harmonizers, and planetary operators, whatever role you hold, you know that the template for the new Earth is being seeded. New locations are now being connected to 5th and 7th dimensional spaces, as new Arcturian crystals are being implanted, and you uphold the frequency through your unique blueprint and intentional desire. The end of July marks a major planetary shift in our skies and collective consciousness. The basket geometry, the nodes shift from Pisces to Aquarius and Leo, together with the full moon in Aquarius, mark the end of the Piscean age. The one that Neptune and Saturn had already prophesied, and which we are now finally concluding. An end cannot be an end without a beginning, and it is precisely toward this beginning that we are heading. The Sun in Leo, along with Jupiter, and now the South Node, supports the change we are igniting from within, helping us anchor quickly into the new, for the time of self-sacrifice is finally over, as Juno in Aquarius reminds us in alignment with the moon. We are now invited to step into the new, as sovereigns, enjoying our creations and the new harmonic space. This is the beginning of restoring divine order on our planet. Many of us came here knowing we would have to dismantle the new world order that is being established. It is not an easy task, but we have been given all the inner resources to stand firm in the power of our hearts, in the power of love, to dissolve all anomalies and planetary tactics that trap consciousness. The Aquarius moon occurs with the Sun conjunct Jupiter and the moon conjunct Pluto, in harmony with Neptune and Uranus, inviting the collective to remove lower mental programs, opening the mind to what truly is and shifting from the self to the all. As this Aquarius moon reminds us, together with the Sun in Leo, we are here to heal individually, so we can work as a team and assist the collective in the leap of consciousness it is making. All these planetary events support the healing and astral opening that are occurring right now, where the soul trap of continuous reincarnation is about to end for souls aware of their divine nature and freedom. The desperate intentions to continue feeding on us will persist, as will the power we are embodying to neutralize all these intentions. This is the beginning of the collective assumption of our roles as divine emissaries and anchors of the new Earth, because it is not about what we are told or see, but about what is truly behind the physical curtains. Many of you are still self-sabotaging, afraid of your own power, driven by empathy and commitment to others. All of this ends now. You are, as the guides reiterate, the most important person in your life. To help others, you must first help yourself and become the integrated, unified, and powerful love light being that you are. Recognize your worth, your divinity, and your dignity, for nothing that Source creates can ever be unworthy. Stand firm in your wisdom and power, for the time has come to emerge as the divine harmonic anchor and emissary you came to be. Ask your unified self, the divine, for help, and if you ask, it will be given. We cannot accomplish our mission alone. We could not. We are moved by a divine and powerful source within us that allows us to receive infinite energy to accomplish all we must do in our unique role. If you have ever thought that the energy you receive is yours or human, you are mistaken. It is spiritual strength, divine power that assists you in your task at every step of the way. May Source, dearest ones, always recognize the source that walks with you, with love and grace. Our path of seeding begins now. Let us rejoice in the magnificence of this new harmonic cycle. Within infinite love, Natalia, Alba. Life Tapestry Creations. New world, new creations, dearest ones. You likely need to know that the prophecy of the universe is your new reality, rather than the same dream you have lived life after life. This week, you will begin to experience apparent miracles or unexpected joyful events in your outer world. From micro to macro. While it is comforting to know that something will eventually materialize, we live in such dramatic and three-dimensional times that every day the hope that joy and peace can reign in the outer world fades. How can everything that has been destroyed be restored to what it was during our lifetime? Perhaps a better question is what the new world will look like, because what was can never be replaced. That last sentence might be frightening, because if what you considered a success in 3D will not be replicated or even admired, what will your outer world be like? That is the question everyone undertaking a transition asks. What was no longer exists, and what will be must be created. Instead of dreaming in 3D, expand your horizons, your dreams, and your beliefs. Nowadays, there is a tendency to mistakenly believe that everything that was will simply be recreated with some improvements. What was is no longer productive, and upgrading an unproductive system does not make it better. You and others are creating a new world, not an upgrade of the 3D world that is no longer appealing. So, instead of lamenting what you think you are losing, realize that upgrading what was is no different than putting a shiny object on an obsolete product and declaring it new and improved. Step out of your three-dimensional box of limits and obligations. You will likely argue that there have been many extraordinary 3D inventions by those who dared to be different, like airplanes, cars, computers, medical advances, and so on. And that is true. All right and appropriate inventions for the time. But that time has passed. What will appear now will be objects designed for different times, frequencies, and dimensions. This is a new world, and each of you will invent or explore something that would not have been acceptable in the 3D dimension. This change will often be accompanied by the expression unworldly, until those who have already made the transition realize they simply have different skills and interests. This is not about creating financial abundance, more friends, or any other 3D area you have dreamed of for eons. This is a different world with different rules and, consequently, different outcomes. Do you want to explore different languages, planets, or dimensions? What will you create to do that? And once created, will you want to share it or simply explore it, knowing that others can also create it if they wish? It is no longer about, they have something I dream of, but I can't afford it, and they won't share it. Anyone making the transition will be a creator of themselves, sharing the concept with others, knowing they can create it for themselves or contribute to the idea. This new world is about creation, not by a few, but by anyone participating in the transition. It is no longer about who has and who's not, but about exploring whatever interests you, for as long as you like. No longer will only a few be labeled inventors or innovators. These titles will be expected of everyone. And instead of keeping the results of these skills or innovations to themselves, these concepts will be accessible to anyone who wishes to join or continue the activity. This new world is so far beyond what you now imagine that there is no way to confirm what we in the universe know to be your current and future world. What was no longer exists, including the need to conform and obey before developing a product or conceiving a new idea. What was once considered a miracle will become normalcy, for creation is your new primary goal, without the parameters established to maintain control from an external source. This new world cannot be imagined with three-dimensional ideas, no matter how idealistic they may seem. It is a new world, with new actions, thoughts, and interactions. It is no longer about, I have mine, I hope you get yours someday, but rather, what are you creating? How beautiful, I am creating this. I wonder if combining the two could create something even better. I'm not interested in finding out, but if you are, feel free to do so. So do not feel the need to latch onto an idea as quickly as possible to create something before anyone else. Rather, explore what seems interesting to you now and see what happens. This is your new world. A non-competitive world based on exploring whatever seems fun and interesting. You cannot visualize what your new world will be like until you and others start exploring fun and exciting ideas and concepts. If that does not happen, nothing will change from the 3D world you are used to. So be it. Amen. The Galactic New Year on July 22nd, we entered the solar cycle of Leo. This is the day celebrated by billions of people worldwide as the Feast of the Ascension of Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene is one of the expressions of the all-encompassing divine love of the Divine Mother. On July 22nd of each year, she floods the earth through the cup of humanity's collective consciousness with the wonderful love of the Divine Mother and with the greatest need of the moment. This enriches every particle and wave of life on earth and prepares humanity for July 25th, known as the Day Out of Time. It is a day of reflection and preparation for the Galactic New Year. July 26th is recognized throughout the universe as the Galactic New Year. At this celestial moment, the Earth aligns with Sirius and Leo and begins a new cycle of time and space. This year, 2026, given the urgency of the moment, the Company of Heaven encourages lightworkers to infuse into the cup of humanity's collective consciousness the information they have shared with us over the years, during our commitment as a presence of peace. With profound humility and gratitude, we respond, I am a presence that commands peace during this confused and often difficult time of Earth's ascension process. The Company of Heaven is sending a clarion call to all who have ears to hear. As this clarion call resounds through the ethers, the I Am presence of awakened humanity is alerted and inspired to awaken within the flames of the heart the inner knowledge we have prepared for entire lifetimes to be a presence that commands peace during the unprecedented purification the Earth is undergoing right now. This inner awareness will remind each of us that we already possess, within the divinity of our heart flame, everything we need to be a presence that infuses peace. This awareness will also bring to the surface of our conscious minds the realization that when we respond to the adversities manifesting on Earth as a presence that infuses peace, we effectively dissipate the pain inherent in the things manifesting around us. Without remembering this profound truth, it is very easy to observe the appearances of the outer world and arrive at the erroneous conclusion that humanity and planet Earth are plunging into an abyss of negativity. As the remnants of the old Earth are pushed to the surface to be transmuted back into light, outer appearances create the illusion that everything that can go wrong is going wrong. We are witnessing catastrophic hurricanes, fires, earthquakes, floods, droughts, melting glaciers, wars, mass shootings, and an increase in every other painful thing happening on this planet. It is very easy to get swept away by the fear and anxiety expressed by the masses. Unfortunately, this does not help at all. On the contrary, it is the worst thing we can do. Remember that our thoughts and feelings are creative. Where our attention is, there we are. Whatever we think and feel, we feed it. Many times, the company of heaven has reminded us how powerful our thoughts, words, feelings, and actions are, and how they are co-creating our daily life experiences, whether we are aware of it or not. When we focus on the horror of what is happening in the world and feed these terrible things with our fear and anxiety, we greatly complicate the problem. There is a philosophical statement that says, when we suffer with someone, we water their garden of pain. This does not mean we should bury our heads in the sand and pretend that the things we observe and experience are not happening. And it certainly does not mean we do not care or that we do not feel compassion for people going through painful experiences or difficult situations. It simply means that when we are overwhelmed by the suffering of others and wallow in their pain, we actually amplify their suffering. I know that is the last thing a caring person would want to do, but we often do it involuntarily. When we let ourselves be emotionally overwhelmed by another person's pain and suffering, we become part of the problem rather than part of the solution. We cannot comfort or uplift someone when we ourselves are writhing in agony or overwhelmed by grief. Today, the company of heaven wants us to remember how we can react to negative events occurring on Earth in ways that heal, rather than exacerbate, humanity's pain and suffering. First of all, we must be aware of what is happening in the world. Every day we must pay attention and be informed about the negative events being brought to light to be healed and transmuted into light. But instead of instinctively reacting by emotionally connecting with the shock and horror of what is happening, we must deliberately remain centered in our heart flame. Then we can ask our I Am Presence to help us detach from the pain, so we can be a presence that commands peace even in the face of the most terrible adversity. By affirming, I am presence and I am one with the I Am Presence of all humanity, we instantly alert the I Am Presence of every person on Earth to prepare to receive the light of God invoked on their behalf. Once aligned in this way with the I Am Presence of every person, we can dissipate much of the suffering by affirming, I am a presence that commands peace, and I ask the entire company of heaven and the I Am Presence of every person involved in this event to envelop them in an invincible force field of divine protection and comfort of God. To be a presence that infuses peace, we do not need to fully understand why something negative is happening or specifically understand what is emerging to be healed in a particular event. This is a very complex time, and literally entire lifetimes of humanity's multifaceted erroneous creations from the old Earth are emerging daily to be healed and transmuted into light. To be a presence that infuses peace, all we need to remember is that nothing happens by chance. As difficult as it is for us to reconcile this truth with our finite minds, the company of heaven has told us that no one is a victim. Regardless of what we are experiencing, at a higher level of consciousness we agreed to face that particular trial to contribute to the process of transmuting into light our own and humanity's erroneous creations from the old Earth. Pain and suffering of any kind are the result of human erroneous creations associated with the fallen consciousness of our human egos. These erroneous creations must be transmuted back into light before we can divinely complete our ascension into the fifth-dimensional frequencies of the new Earth. This inner awareness will help us see the bigger picture and understand that even the most horrific event can advance humanity and the Earth toward the light. The most positive thing that happens when humanity becomes aware of a tragedy is that people everywhere open their hearts and immediately feel compassion for those involved in that negative event. This response also allows even the most slumbering people to experience the unity of all life in a profound way. Amazingly, in the midst of shock and horror, people forget their differences and begin reaching out to one another in the most loving and supportive ways. The following invocation will help us all in this process, expanding the flame of my heart as one voice, one breath, one heartbeat, and one consciousness of pure divine love. We inhale and exhale deeply and rhythmically as we enter the divinity within the flame of our heart. And we begin. I am my I am presence, and I am one with the I am presence of all humanity. What I invoke for myself, I invoke on behalf of every person on earth, in perfect alignment with each one's divine plan and for the highest good of all concerned. The sacred breath is the vehicle for the assimilation and expansion of my immortal victorious threefold flame. With each inhalation, I now assimilate into the divinity of my heart remarkably intensified frequencies of the blue flame of power of my Father God, the pink flame of love of my Mother Goddess, and the yellow gold flame of Christ consciousness of the sons and daughters of God. With each exhalation, I now expand these remarkably intensified sacred flames through my heart to bless all life on earth and to increase my knowing and my ability to be the presence that commands peace that I have chosen to be. With each inhalation and each exhalation, my threefold flame expands, drawing ever closer to its original dimensions and divine potential. As the flame of my heart grows breath after breath, I realize that with each inhalation I pass through a portal into the pure earth of boundless splendor and infinite light in the heart of my Father Mother God, and with each exhalation I am the open door through which the gifts and divine blessings of my Father Mother God flow into the physical plane to bless humanity and all life on earth. My I am presence is now encoding this knowledge into my heart and mind, so that I am aware and intuitively conscious of this profound truth with every breath I take. And so it is. Beloved, I am that I am. God bless you. Patricia Cota-Robles. Archangel Gabriel. Refining discernment, you will continue to receive many opinions, thoughts, and opportunities as you continue your journey into the new. This is why refining your discernment is important. You cannot use your discernment at its highest and most authentic level if you do not know how you feel. The key here is self-awareness. If a new opportunity presents itself to you, the first piece of advice we give you is not to respond before you have given it thorough consideration. This will give you the chance to assess your reactions. Do not get carried away by an impulsive reaction, which is usually based on old patterns, conditioning, or habits. How did your body feel when this opportunity was presented to you? Did you feel excitement? Dread? Did your body give you a clear yes by feeling open to the idea, or did it give you a no by feeling very tense? What was your body doing while you were listening? Were you restless, or were you still and focused? What was the overall feeling the opportunity conveyed to you? You may need to sift through several reactions before arriving at your truth and authenticity. That is okay. You will improve with time. If you filter out fear, doubt, what you feel you should do versus what you truly want to do, and your body's reactions, you will find your answer. Then both your no and your yes will be helpful to you and the greater good. The Arcturian Council. Instructions on how to empower your consciousness. People desire better and more things, such as intuition and intellect, so they seek ways to enhance what they already possess. People hold the mistaken belief that they must obtain new things. There are ways of understanding things that do not correspond to the typical way of understanding. Imagine a calm lake after a light breeze. If the waters are completely still, they will be clear enough to perfectly reflect the stars and everything around them. After a breeze or a gust of wind, hundreds of thousands of waves will obstruct the once perfect. Reflections. A lake is no longer able to reflect the water perfectly as it once did. Once the surface of the lake returns to calm, the reflections return as well. The surface of a lake is a representation of a human being's inner consciousness. Some believe they are developing their intuition, when in reality they are only learning to listen to it. Others believe they are awakening their wisdom, when in reality they are discovering the wisdom already present within the mind, buried beneath layers of distractions. When a person or a soul begins to practice meditation, conscious breathing, spending time in nature, or cultivating inner stillness, the waters of their consciousness calm down. The calmer the consciousness, the clearer the perceptions. It is commonly thought that one has received new abilities, when in reality that person's consciousness is able to manifest more of its innate gifts. This is why many ancient traditions state that the process of acquiring knowledge is actually a process of remembering. Being awake is the opposite of possessing knowledge. The noise must be eliminated before clarity can be restored. The energy previously occupied by incessant thoughts is now available for creativity, intuition, healing, and presence. Learning becomes faster. Recognizing synchronicities becomes easier, and guidance manifests more often. The flow of life is enriched by coherence and connection. A gardener does not make a flower bloom, but creates the environment in which a flower can bloom. Conditions and environment are important, but for the flower to express itself, it must exist within its nature. It has always been infinitely wise. The surface of a calm lake reflects the stars above more easily. We are the Arcturian Council, and we tell you, the journey is not so much about becoming something different from what you are, but about allowing your true essence to emerge.